Shit, look what that stupid creature did to my baby. The engine's fucked. I don't know how to repair this. You didn't even leave me spare parts. You really...
An ostrich. No doubt about it, it's a wild ostrich. Look, you see the spikes on its back? Unfortunately, the poor animal died, but I'm almost sure that...
Well, according to the sky, we don't have much time before sunrise. Fortunately, we're not very far away. We better get a move on.
It's a pretty good idea, because, as I was about to tell you, these creatures are social. They rarely travel alone. We might find ourselves in the middle of a herd, and an angry ostrich can be very dangerous.
Very good. Want to guide us, Nisha? And Amelia, leave that rover alone. As you said, you won't be able to fix it. And if you stay, you'll die.
Isn't that what that bitch wanted? That I die? I hate you all.
Stop it. We never wanted you to die. We need you. I know that you love that machine, but there's no time to cry over it. Come on.
No, they're trying to open the roof.
You! Up there! Stop! Stop! It's Nisha! Listen to me! Stop! We'll take care of the creatures!
I'm sorry, Nisha. I didn't... I'm stopping right now. But I'll only be able to open the doors for you once the area is completely secured.
They can get us access now.
If I weren't one to be wary of all corporate rejects, I might be elated. Do you feel it, Zachariah? We are about to enter a legendary city.
Outcasts. Get used to it, old pal. That's us too now.
Nisha, I'm so glad to see you. We were starting to get worried about you. The news from Ophir sounded a little chaotic. You look healthy.
Worried? About me? Give me some credit. Let me introduce you to Zachariah Mancer. He's the reason why I'm here.
Look at that. The Technomancer who saved us from the Vori. Interesting. Very interesting. Happy to see you again. Now I understand why the prince was insistent. He'll want to see you as soon as possible.
The prince?
Dandolo. He rules our city. If I were you, I wouldn't keep him waiting. He loses patience quickly. There's nothing like fresh news for him to be on pins and needles. But don't worry, he's a charming man, and he loves Nisha.
Very well. I'll go see him.
Happy to see you in one piece, Zachariah.
Beg? I feel like I got ripped off.
Apologies, we were forced to improvise. Playing a simpleton is a great way to avoid attention when you are a mutant. You can go see the prince now, but come back later. There's something I would like to discuss. I will be near the sand sails.
Wait a... Your name's Andrew, isn't it? We went to the academy together. But didn't we... I overheard you talking to Master Connor after I brought him to meet you.
I guess you overheard. Very well. Come find me once you've met with the prince. We'll talk about it. Go now. Don't keep him waiting.
Check the leading against me. Ah, and here comes the rare pearl, the diamond in the rough that my Nisha tells me about. Come, young man.
Zachariah Mancer. was a lieutenant in Abundance.
Then welcome to Noctus Labyrinthus, Zachariah Mancer, former lieutenant of Abundance. I am Dandolo, head of this fair city.
Legendary city of the merchants. Apparently less legend than I thought. Or been told.
But hopefully as glorious as legends proclaim. Regardless, for all who come seeking asylum, it opens its arms to you and your companions. You are free to call it home. Like all who have come before you, you will honor our only request, that you make yourselves useful to our city. I'm sure your skills will place you in high demand. Noctis' first Technomancer. Exciting. You'll have all the help you need with Nisha and Lucky, who I believe you've met. We'll give you a room to get some rest. I hear your trip was quite eventful. There is something else. I would like to personally discuss my expectations of you. You hear? War between Abundance and Aurora's winding down. Aurora took Green Hope.
Just left Ophir a few hours ago and didn't hear anything about that.
That really surprise you? Your little censorship office probably hasn't decided what to do with the information yet. No. Don't look at me like that. You don't belong to Abundance anymore. The truce doesn't behoove us. During peace, the corporations become more suspicious of us and our business suffers. Our city could even be discovered, which would be catastrophic. In legend, it must remain.
What do you...
No, let me speak. Your welcome here comes at a price. I want you to attack an Aurora convoy. It's right up your alley.
And why would I do that?
I didn't finish. You will do it in Abundance uniforms, dissolving the truce. Do what you want with the soldiers, but let the civilians live.
They need to be witnesses that'll report back to Aurora.
So you keep the war going.
Precisely. And while you're at it, bring back the uniforms of the Aurora Technomancers you dispatch. I'm sure I'll find a use for them down the road. Ah, another thing, much more trivial this time, I assure you. The rover you came in on, I'd like you to move it. Put it wherever you want, do whatever you want with it. Just make sure it's not in the way in the canyon. I just don't want Ophir to stumble over the machine and, as a result, find the road that leads here.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Oh yes, one last thing. My spies gave me a little tidbit that might interest you. Right after your escape, the ASC arrested your Technomancer brothers. That's what you call them, right? From Ophir. Their fate's uncertain, but if I was you, I'd be worried for them. If you're worried enough to want to help them, maybe we can set up some sand sails to get you back.
And your help comes at what cost? Assuming it's not out of the kindness of your heart.
Don't be so bitter, Zachariah. Business is business, not personal. I just thought a few Technomancers on our side might be useful.
I do not like that man. He's intelligent, but shifty. He wishes to fire up another conflict, another war. Blood, corpses, misery. Those things follow a merchant of death. We should never have left Ophir.
I would have died there, Scott. I'm sorry you had to come with me. I really am. You could have stayed. But I have to go see what Dandolo wants.
I know it sounds bad, but what do you think Abundance or Aurora would do if they found our little outcast city? Dandolo may be cruel, but in the end, he only wants what's good for Noctis.
You wanted to see me?
Yes. I apologize once again for having to play this role in front of you, but the situation was a difficult one, and I could not risk blowing my cover.
I understand. You're one of Dandolo's spies too?
No, I work for my people, even if Dandolo was a precious ally. I was in Ophir to plan an escape, but it was not exactly what I wanted to tell you about. I would like to offer you my services.
You're also a mercenary?
No, I am not interested in serum, and a Technomancer ally, yes. It is rare for mutants to know someone with your talents. So if you need a hand or any information, you know where to find me. And maybe I will ask for your services once in a while.
All right.
Hey, there you are. Your meeting go well.
As well as hoped. Thanks.
Then let's get down to business. You know who I am. You know my past. You know what little I have left. What are you gonna do about it now is the question. You gonna use what you can against me? Or let me carry on with the small life I've managed to build?
I want to help you. What can I do?
Some things can't be healed, Rogue. Like that scar across your face. I'm guessing you got it the day I lost everything. And was reduced to a sad, broken, armless shadow of what I might have been.
Some things can't be healed, but most can be mended, friend. Let me ask around. It might be a long shot, but maybe you'll find a new reason to call yourself lucky again. We'll find someone who can lead you back to your gifts. I promise.
I may be bitter, but I'm no less grateful. Thank you, Zachariah. A little show of kindness goes a long way.
Zachariah, you look good. Better than I. As if that was hard to accomplish.
What do you think about Andrew? He comes from Ophir like you, and he could have become a Technomancer, but he had an accident.
I remember, yes. You know that I was the one who had spotted his abilities and had taken him to school, as I did for you? I thought that he was dead. That's what I was told, that he was dead. I shouldn't have listened. But it's perfectly alive now.
Yes, but he lost an arm during the accident, and he can't use Technomancy anymore.
How so? That's ridiculous. Technomancy has nothing to do with arms. It is all in the head. You just have to... Let me think. Yes, I think that with... Yes, that's it. With a full Technomancer kit, I would have the parts needed to create a bypass on a classic prosthesis. I would need my notes to do that.
Your notes?
I studied Technomancy as well. Anyway, from a scientific standpoint, obviously. I've never thrown lightning bolts, and I can't do it physically. Moreover, those kits wouldn't suit me, I'm sure.
Scott, you studied Technomancy?
Yes, and I had conducted in-depth research on the way in which your neural network expressed its static charge throughout your equipment. But all this is old. I can't remember it all, and I left my notes in Ophir. I won't have any trouble helping that boy if you bring me my notes and the equipment. You wanted something else?
No. Thank you, Scott. I'm gonna try to bring all that back. Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I took the rover all the way down into the canyon. Unfortunately, that's where I hit a wild ostrich, and now the thing won't drive. Heard you might be able to help get it back here.
And why exactly would we want to help you? We who are just monsters to you and your kind, even here. One of us was just lynched. And what did your kind do about it? Nothing. And when we are sick, what one of you would help us even in fair exchange for serum? Why then, answer me, would we help you now?
You said there was a lynching. Tell me about it. Maybe I could help.
The last time a man helped a mutant, it was only to bring a chair to help him reach the noose. And those that didn't participate watched, and did nothing.
Who were these men?
It was those crazy, religious zealots who hate us. Believe we have no souls. If we want the prince to do something, we need evidence. Same goes for handling it ourselves. But all we have is the body of our brother. We won't punish an innocent. We are not like them.
Not all humans are like that. Maybe I'll have some better luck asking around. I'll look into it.
stories over and over and over and over and... you get the point. Doomsday this, blah blah that.
Not the religious type, eh?
Oh no, I'm a chronic believer. I just switch beliefs every couple weeks.
Welcome, welcome. What's your pleasure? What are you looking for?
Did you hear about that mutant who got lynched? I want to know who did it.
I see. But why do you think I would know anything about it?
You know what goes on in that neighborhood like any merchant should. And you don't think that this kind of story is bad for business? The mutants are furious. You really want them to turn the whole city upside down in order to find the culprit?
You're not wrong. I guess that we'd better turn in the culprits and be done with it. It's a gang of fanatics from the temple that lynched that poor guy. Oh, it was awful.
Why didn't you do anything then?
It was an angry crowd. I mean, I have nothing against mutants, of course, but...
A spine like a jellyfish, but it walks like a human. Thanks for the information, I guess. Gentlemen, you are responsible for an awful crime. It's pointless to try to deny it. Several witnesses saw you. You didn't even try to be discreet.
We didn't have to hide. We're carrying out a divine mission, and nobody will prevent us from doing so. Not even you. Come on, guys! For the shadow! Stop! By the shadow! Stop! Yes. Yes! We killed the soulless mutant. But who cares? They gave their souls to the sun and betrayed the shadow. And their horrid forms became punishment. Why does it concern you?
Whatever your superstitions, over here, mutants are free. And believe me, when they learn that you're behind all this, I wouldn't bet that you'll get out of this alive.
No, no! I beseech you, don't tell them. Think about the turmoil it will create in the city, the riots. How about raising their doubts over something else? You would be rewarded.
Hey there.
What do you want, human?
Regarding the investigation you asked me to do.
Did you find anything? Who killed our brother?
Listen, you were right. The gang of fanatics was behind the murder, but you shouldn't seek vengeance. I know that it's hard to hear, but you're gonna start a riot in town, and innocent people will get hurt, maybe killed.
You're likely to irritate Dandolo, and you know very well that we need his support. What happened to that boy is horrible, and they will pay for this crime someday, but not today, and probably not by starting a riot.
That is so enraging!
I know, but you must control your anger for now. The best tribute that we can give to our dead is to build our nation. Save your rage for this goal, and this goal only.
You are right, Phobos, as always. Thank you. Your help has been appreciated. And I see that there are exceptions to the selfishness that pervades most of your kind. We will get your vehicle, but it will take some time. We can only work at night, and the ostriches will have a hard time with such a large machine. We should have it back within 12 hours for you.
I can imagine that you're surprised to see so many mutants moving freely around here. I know that it's not the case in Ophir, but their life isn't easy here. Racism, segregation. I am so grateful I'm not a mutant. Gotta respect their courage, though. Living with this hatred, this daily dose of contempt, seems like a giant test of character. Don't expect them to be at your beck and call. They'll most likely ask for something in return for their services. They are a free people here.
Found you an alibi, but you'd better keep quiet. A second murder of this kind and you'll get hung.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Here, take this.
Hey.
Hey, back.
What happened that day?
I had a surge. A big one. One even the Masters never saw coming, literally. Before they even knew what was happening, I electrified everyone and everything around me. It screamed like thunder from my body, before the ceiling itself finally collapsed in on me. I woke up in the infirmary without an arm, surrounded by all those powerful Masters who stood there shaken, whispering, their eyes still filled with fear. And everything went dark again, and I woke up in a sand sail.
Why aren't you with your family?
Right, my family. They were small-time merchants. I'm sure real proud their son was gifted with Technomancy and was joining the school. But they were also scared as shit of me for the same reason. We're all scared of what we don't understand. It's why so many fear us both. Not that I'm sure any of the Masters even asked them to take me back. It was more important to them that I disappear for good, to hide what happened, keep the illusion of their infallibility intact. Also, to hide the fact they had people among them who had the power to take down entire buildings. No, I had to go. In some ways, they even did me a favor.
And you never tried to reconnect with them? Even after you got free?
No, I looked for him. Even tracked down my father. He was just this old man. Didn't even recognize me. And if he did, he'd probably just hate me for what I've become. A crippled outcast, not something you'd put your pride in. So I let it lie, just walked away.
What about your gift? I thought people died if they didn't use their fluid.
It's a myth. There are rogue technomancers out there. Not a lot, but a few. They know how to control their fluid surges. Probably the only thing that piece of shit Marcello could take credit for. He introduced me to one of those guys, and after that, I learned to control it the hard way. The irony, no? I'll never be a technomancer now, but I control the fluid better than any of Abundance's masters. Not for power, just to make sure my own brain doesn't fry.
What have you been up to since you left?
What have I done? Well, after spending 10 years of my life as a slave trying to pay that piece of shit Marcello back for what he called my debts, traveled in his luggage hold, did his dirty jobs, whatever he needed to get his business going. Carried crates, drove sand sales, shoveled sand, ran errands, but mostly just picked his customers' pockets. I traveled a lot, though, if I'm going to find any silver lining in it, and have earned my damn place here in Noctis. Even if the price of that has been rarely sleeping in a real bed or reading a book that wasn't about accounting.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What can I do for you?
What really happened with your mother? I must say I didn't understand much. That stone? The police's arrival?
My mother was helping me as much as she could to carry out my mission. She would provide me with information, sometimes hide mutants on the run before they could leave the city. She was a wonderful woman, Zach, but someone turned her in. Fiorello heard and raced to get me out with your aid. Though how I yearned to save her, to get to the slums to warn her. But I knew I could not. You, though, could. The stone was a token of recognition. She knew what it meant. If she was turned in, she had to leave as soon as possible. And if she couldn't, the drawing was made with an ink made of jellyfish venom.
But why give her that poison?
I didn't want her to die, Zach. I loved my mother. But I knew what the ASC would do to her in their jail. If they caught her, she needed a way to avoid being tortured.
When did you discover that you were a mutant?
The first symptoms of mutation appeared when I was very young. I must say that I can't really remember very well. My mother noticed them, and she taught me how to hide the marks, even though I think that I didn't know what it meant. She was hoping to keep me close to her, but as soon as the first marks appeared on my face, they spotted me out right away. I will never forget my arrest, how violent they were toward my mother. I was just a kid. I was sent to one of the farms on the outskirts of town. That's where I learned what it meant to be a mutant.
What's the Mutant Nation? You created it, right?
It is a little overblown, but I was one of its founders, among many others. Of course, other mutants were living outside the city as runaway slaves, hidden here and there, stealing whatever they could find in order to survive. A small community had settled in Noctis and benefited from the hospitality of the merchants, who allowed them to move around freely. However, we did not have any way to defend ourselves or plan a future. We were all spread out. A few of us decided to get together. We found a place, a very unique one, and we soon started doing it up, bringing in equipment and erecting houses. As for me, I especially wanted to free as many brothers and sisters as possible. So I went back to Ophir, and I realized that nobody cared about mutants, especially if they didn't look very smart. I began to help dozens of them escape. And our nation soon began to grow. There are a lot of us now, and I hope that all mutants will be able to live there someday.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. I'm fine, thanks. Tell me more about you growing up.
What's there to say? I was a ward of the state in Abundance's centers. It was lonely and, you know, the other kids were assholes, but I gotta tell you, those times my dad returned from his missions, and I got to see him, best times of my life.
Wait, what? I thought the reason you'd been placed in a center was that your dad disappeared.
Who the hell told you that? No, I was real young when they took me away. My parents were always off on missions, and someone had to take care of me, you know? I don't even remember living with them. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it.
Sure, sorry. Yeah, of course. Besides your rovers, what else makes you happy here, Amelia?
Nature. Not the bugs or animals and stuff, but the landscapes, you know? Sunsets, mountains scraping the sky, red water trickling down the hills in the spring, gray lichen floating in the morning breeze. Back in Ophir, I used to take the rover out before sunrise just to take it all in. Always managed to put things in perspective, you know? How small we all are.
Amelia the poet philosopher. Who'd have thought it?
Why you gotta be a smartass?
Aha, I'm not. Just never saw that side of you. The passion. Makes me want to take a rover out before dawn tomorrow.
Well, let's go together. I've always wanted to share it with someone.
Are you seeing anyone at the moment?
What, you mean a boyfriend? No, not right now. You applying for the position?
I mean...
Look at your face! You can't even come up with something to say. Listen, you don't look half bad, soldier. Won't take too much for me to cuddle up with you at night.
Zach, perfect timing. You remember Abby Goodman, friend of mine you helped before?
Yeah, of course. She really your friend, or all just part of the cover you had going on?
No, no. She is. She's a spy for Noctis too, though. She's actually been working on something for me and finally managed to get some info I'd been trying to get.
What information was that?
I spent a part of my life in a rehabilitation camp after my arrest in Ophir. It was the worst time of my existence, and I've always wondered how I'd ended up here. Who had turned us in? We were just a group of street kids. We would steal food here and there, but we weren't dangerous. However, we were arrested and deported to a camp like hardened criminals or terrorists. What happened followed me for many years, until I learned that an important member of the Vori clique was responsible for the deportation of dozens of people. Most of them were innocent, but a nuisance for the mob. I want to find that guy. I want to know if it's he who got us deported. I want to understand why, and make him pay. For me, and my companions, of course, but also for those poor people who hadn't asked for anything.
I'm sorry, but I can't come with you right now.
I see.
How the hell did you go from being an artist in Ophir to a spy in Noctis?
Less of a stretch than you think. After all, a good lie, like good art, has to be close to your reality, right? Truth? I was an orphan. Parents did die, and I was on the street and got sucked into a gang. We all got arrested pretty quick and ended up in a rehab camp. Swore I'd die there a couple of times because I wasn't gonna let them brainwash me, and they didn't take too kindly to that. I took the beatings, but got to keep my mind. Then, the day came. Noctis attacked. They freed a lot of us and brought me here, took care of us, gave us a chance to have lives again. So, I felt like I owed them something in return, and offered to go back to Ophir as a spy. Good thing, too. Otherwise, who would have torn you out of Victor's grip and brought you back here?
You always been alone? Or never had anyone you cared about?
You mean guys? Why? You the jealous type, Zach? Afraid of some competition? Scared you won't measure up? There was one guy, Nick. I was only 10, but I was head over heels for him. He died in the rehab camp after we were all deported around the same time, though. Other than him, couple flings here and there, but nothing much more serious than that. You asking because you heard the rumors and no fear that I'd sleep with anyone wearing a medal?
No, I was just...
I did what I had to do, Zach. To do my job. Never cared about those guys. That's the truth.
You just did what you had to do. You miss making music?
I miss performing. I mean, I still sing for myself here and there, write new lyrics when I feel inspired. But the moments I shared with my audience, it was so intense when I felt everyone humming with me.
How about you sing for me?
Maybe another time. But I'd love to. There's something intimate in sharing your art, like sharing your soul. It's why I feel like music can unite people across corporations, on opposite sides of wars or causes. It's simply beautiful. And in between the notes, our differences seem to disappear. The second all this ends, I'll get back to it. It's what I was born for, and I'm not one to deny destiny.
Hey, mister! You got a minute? I need to ask you something. You Zachariah Mancer? You are, aren't you? You're helping out the merchant prince, right?
I guess. Yeah, what's going on?
I don't. My partner died a few days ago. Got sick, just all of a sudden. A lot of folks catching it, but no one cares none because it's only killing refugees. They don't care about us or what's causing it. They don't care that we all seem to be catching it. Sick and dead everywhere, everywhere. No remedy or nothing. Only one who seems to care or help is that preacher's son. But he can't heal everyone. He's just one fella.
Preacher's son healing the sick.
Sure enough. Boy's known for performing miracles. I ain't religious, even less now that my heart, my soul, my love was taken. So I don't know if it's true. Just telling you what I've heard.
Miracles, huh? Yeah, right. Know how many miracles I asked for in my life? Now guess how many I got? Not one. But this ain't about me. This is about those poor folks, right? Danger of an epidemic spreading. Maybe Scott could help figure out what's going on.
My thoughts exactly.
We gotta find what's causing this disease and get a cure real quick. No one around here has much, and now they're even losing their lives. You gotta help us.
I'll see what I can do. What were your wife's symptoms?
I don't know. I ain't a doctor, but a lot of stomach stuff, cramps, throwing up, just pain everywhere. She was even starting to see stuff that wasn't there. Talking crazy. It was awful.
What about everyone else who's sick?
Most are poor like us, around the neighborhood of the gates. Left the corporations with nothing. Arrived here with nothing. Now they're dying because they can't even afford a doctor.
Let me go talk to other refugees and see what I can find.
Thank you, Mr. Mancer.
Hey, let me ask you a few questions.
Sure, why not? What do you want to know?
You know the man beside you?
Of course. He's a friend.
What are his symptoms?
Stomach aches real bad. Yeah, he, has trouble, holding it in, if you know what I'm saying.
It looks like a bacterial infection, and if so, no one is safe here. But hopefully it's just food contamination, or, at worst, poisoning. Need to check if all the sick ate the community soup.
Well, almost everyone does. Except me and a few others, so...
I should talk to the people cooking the food. What's he been up to since he came to Noctis?
Well, we haven't been here for too long now. No steady work and no serum. So what he'd do is the odd jobs here and there when he could find them. Same as most of the rest of us. We all sleep in here. Hang around the city the rest of the day, that's about all of it. Not much else to tell, honestly.
Think he could have eaten something that made him sick?
Maybe. I don't really know. He's been eating a lot from the community soup, I know that.
You haven't?
Well, I woulda, but first time I gone there, I got in an argument with the religious fellow that runs it. About religious things and such, So I don't go back. Not really welcome. Found other ways to stay fed.
How you feeling?
I don't know. Fine, I guess. All things considered. I don't think I'm sick right now, but I've grown real tired looking after him. Don't sleep so well lately because of it.
Thank you.
Sure enough. You're welcome. Gonna take him to the preacher's son soon. Hear he's been healing folks left and right.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, my stomach. Oh, my stomach.
I'm trying to figure out what's making everyone sick. Can I grab a blood sample from you? It'd help a lot.
Yeah. If it helps find a cure. Take all you want. Ah!
I should be able to use this to see what's making all those people sick. Let's take a closer look at this sample. Arsenic. Should have known. Symptoms match, but who would have poisoned all these people? These people were poisoned. Had to be the community soup. Need to take a sample, run some tests, and find out what's in it. You work here?
Yep, I help cook.
You eat here too?
Yes, of course. But only a little. I have a weak stomach, so I don't eat everything that's offered. Why?
I'm sure you've heard about all the refugees getting sick. There's a chance it's coming from your food.
Oh my, I couldn't imagine how. I just take what they give me and cook the dishes how I'm told. That's all. I don't add anything. So the disease must be coming from somewhere else.
Who gives you the food?
Well, I mean, it all comes from the parents' donations given to the preacher's family. Real good people, you know. They can't have anything to do with it. Their son actually heals the sick, so don't go pointing the finger at them, you hear me? It ain't in the food that's making people sick, I'll tell you that.
Let's analyze this and end the mystery. Let's find out the killer ingredient in this soup. Someone laced it with arsenic. Smart. Symptoms look just like cholera. This wasn't a disease. This was poisoning. And that soup's the source. And I doubt it's a coincidence that the source of both the soup and the antidote is the preacher's son. What the hell would possess you to poison all those refugees? What did they ever do to you to deserve that?
Have you ever been adored by people? How generous they can be when you save their lives. When they believe that you healed them, they flocked to my father's temple, Why wouldn't I have done it?
Because people died, and a lot are still suffering. You're pathetic.
Maybe so. But better to be disgusting than stupid. I knew you'd be coming around sooner or later, so I loaded up with bodyguards. Do what I'm paying you for! Kill him! Stop! No, stop! I'm rich! Everyone respects my father in Noctis. Let me live, and he will pay you all the serum you could ever want.
I'm not gonna kill you. Enough people have died already. What you're gonna do is give the antidote to every refugee you made sick, and never go within a block of that community soup again. We clear?
Yes, of course. Sure. Antidote for everyone, yeah, and I promise not to do anything like that ever again. How stupid, I swear. Thank you.
Don't thank me. I already regret not making you pay dearly.
So, you find a cure yet?
I did. Except it's an antidote, not a vaccine. You'll find stocks of the plant that will help you heal everyone in the preacher's son's neighborhood. It's all over now. Don't worry.
Thank you, Mr. Mancer. Thank you so very much.